Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and you can find more information on my blog at www.stampingwithhart.blogspot.com. Today's projects are going to feature the On the Farm Designer Series paper. This is a 12 by 12 paper pack that is a Saleabration reward. And what that means is this is paper that you can earn for free when you shop with Stampin' Up and spend 50 for tax during January and February 2023, specifically January 5th to 28th, 2023. Now, before I go ahead and fully into the video, just know I will have links in the description box below for more information about how to get this paper. There is a coordinating bundle in our new mini catalog that is actually designed to coordinate with this paper, and that is purchasable. I will have a link in the description box below for that as well. We are doing note size cards today, or thank you size cards today. I am using the basic white note cards and envelopes pack from Stampin' Up as the card bases for these cards. And then we're going to use the designer series paper and some coordinating pieces to create some simple but really cute thank you cards. Now, if you have never shopped with us before during Saleabration, I am happy to talk to you about it. You can send me any questions that you may have, but the catalog with the purple cover runs from January to April 2023, and the Saleabration brochure runs from January 5th to February 28th, 2023. So there are different ways that you can take advantage of all of the offers that they have during Saleabration, whether you are shopping, hosting, or if you plan to join Stampin' Up! During Saleabration. And I have a separate video all about the details of the incredible. There are three options that you have when you join Stampin' Up! During Saleabration, and I will include a link in case you're interested in clicking into that video. But for now, we're going to focus on the Farm Designer Series paper and these adorable cards that you can create with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so our 12 by 12 designer series paper is double-sided, meaning there are patterns on each side. They coordinate. Some of the patterns are more farm than others, but they do coordinate to go together really nicely. So for those of you who do watch me on Facebook or my Facebook Lives, this is actually from December. I was having an issue with my editing software and I couldn't do voiceovers and all of that lovely stuff. So I was a little bit delayed on getting this video out. So if you've already seen this video, then you are correct. This is not new. This is a little bit delayed of a replay. But since Saleabration is still happening, I wanted to try to get this posted because I thought that this made the most adorable note card set. So you can see all of the different patterns that we have here, coordinating colors. There's a nice range. It has that chicken wire pattern there. I mean, that 12 by 12 piece, for those of you who are memory keepers or you just love the farm sort of theme, I mean, you don't even have to cut that piece up, but we are going, well, not in this video, but we will cut into it eventually. And then you can see there's sort of this vegetable pattern here. So there are a lot of different themes that we have to play with this paper. So if you don't want to particularly use the farm animals, you could still use the other patterns and things that they have in there as well. But I mean, to me, the on the farm paper, the charm is all of these adorable farm animals. So we are gonna, feature them. Now, here is the Thanks a Bunch stamp set. This is a Saleabration stamp set. So just in the same way that you could earn the On the Farm Designer Series paper with a $50 purchase, it's the same. So you can earn that as a free item as well during Saleabration. So now let's go over some of the products that we're going to be using on these cards. We're going to be using the gingham ribbon, the black and white gingham ribbon. We are also going to be using this natural finish ribbon. This is 7/8 of an inch, but this adds some really nice texture to the cards, I think, in sort of that country style that we're going for with the farm. As well as those basic white note cards and envelopes. I did use dies from two different sets. So this one, well, the first one that I'm holding in my hand, this little tag one right there, that one is from the Tea Boutique bundle, or I think it's called the Cup of Tea bundle. And I was just looking for smaller piece dies. So you can use whatever dies that you think would make a cute tag or a little cute, sentiment holder. And then the other one is from the mini pocket envelope dies. And I thought that it fit that thanks sentiment from that Thanks a Bunch stamp set perfectly. So I was really happy with the size of those dies. So whatever sizes that you have in your collection that you like, go for those. Don't feel like you need to use those two die sets, but I will include a full, or I should say, I will include a full product list, both on my blog, and then I will have links in the description box below as well. Okay, let's talk measurements for these cards really quick. So the card itself is 3.5 by 5 when you're looking at the card front there. But if you're going to cut your own card base instead of using the note cards and envelopes, you're actually going to measure the piece of cardstock to 5 by 7 and then score at the 3.5 inch mark. And then when we go to trim the designer series paper down, what we're going to do is trim in the width. It's going to be 4 3/4 inches, which is the cut you just saw me make on the bird pattern there. But I also want to trim off a layer at the yellow stripe too. So it's going to be a two-tone look. So two different pieces of designer series paper that are going to lay on our card front there. And I just thought that that was just a really cute, simple layer. So that is also going to be cut at 4 3/4 inches. And you can see the way those two come together. But in terms of splitting them in two, you can decide, if you want it to be half and half, if you want one to be larger than the other piece, like mine was, it's totally up to you. So, for example, that duck piece, or I should say the chicks and the geese and the chickens, that piece is cut at 2 inches by 4 3/4, and the other piece is cut at 1 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. Now, I decided to include a piece of basic black, a little layer to coordinate that could help sort of tie everything together. It has a really thin frame to it. And again, that is optional. If you just want to do the designer series paper and the card base, that's fine. But if you do want to do that, you're just going to go up 1/8 of an inch in size. So what that measurement ended up being was uh, I'm sorry, 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. And that gives us that really thin border frame there. And then what we're going to do with the designer series paper is we're going to kind of do that split look by putting a piece of ribbon right where the seams would meet for the two different patterns. Again, it's optional. I like to wrap my ribbon around, which is what I'm pointing at there, and kind of tuck the edges behind. I just think it looks cleaner. So I'm going to use my tear and tape adhesive so that I can kind of bring these two pieces together so that they basically become one piece. And you can see from the size, which is the ribbon is a 1/4 inch size ribbon. The tear and tape adhesive that we carry is a perfect size for that. So we can layer that right over, and we don't have to worry about any adhesive sticking or being outside of the edges or the lines of the ribbon. It's almost a perfect match. So you'll be all set and you'll be fine. So you can see that I'm tucking that behind. And even the little pattern there in the back is cute. So just depending on whichever one you would want to do, use whatever adhesive you prefer. I'm using a combination of adhesives here: multi-purpose glue, tear and tape adhesive, and then also my Stampin' Seal Plus, just because I have a basket of adhesive right near me and I'm constantly changing what I'm using. Now I am bringing in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to die cut our piece that we're going to be using for this card here. So my original thought when I was creating these cards was that I was going to need a bunch of thank you cards to send out for those people who had participated in my paper share. but I am still working on designing the paper share class behind the scenes. In the meantime, I thought, let me go ahead and see if I can get some of these made. So I'm just using some basic white cardstock to cut this piece out. But I really, again, I had mentioned I love the size of this for that thanks stamp. I thought that they just coordinated perfectly. And that's what we're going to use. So we're going to be using the Thanks a Bunch stamp set, if I haven't already mentioned it, with the Memento Tuxedo black ink to stamp our little thank you sentiment on here. And let me talk about the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine for a minute while we're talking. So as part of the join promotion that Stampin' Up! Has during Saleabration, you can actually get a mini machine as part of one of the starter kit options. So there are 3 options. You would just be choosing between a boho blue or a white mini machine with options 1 and 2. And for those of you who don't have the mini machine yet, wow, that could be so helpful. These are called classic matte dots, by the way. They have them in black, gray, very vanilla, and white. And I just find them to be like, they're such a good staple embellishment to have on hand when you just need something simple to add. You still want that little embellishment element there. And I decided to do 2 of these on either side of the thank you die cut piece. I just thought that it tied together so nicely. But anyway, with the join promotion, the savings are absolutely incredible. And typically, you would have to put a tool into the starter kit. But with this one, it's in addition to. So if you've been looking for that mini machine, please check out the join offer. It's so good, you guys. And if you have any questions about the value, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. With options 1 and 2, it would be $129, but you're choosing $175 worth of product that you want, and then you're getting the machine as well. That's incredible. And then if you don't want the mini machine, then you can do an option where you're choosing $175 of that product that you love from the new catalog or the annual catalog, whatever you want, and you're only paying $99. So if you want the machine, you have a choice of colors. And if you don't want the machine, then you can just customize your kit and not have to worry about the mini. But I did want to mention that because the mini machine is such an adorable, and it's a really handy addition to your stamp room or your craft room when you don't want to get the big machine out, particularly in a project like this where we're working with smaller dies. It's so helpful to have it. If you spend a lot of time in the car, if you travel, if you have a second home, you might have one machine here, but want another machine there. I've heard so many different reasons that people like to have more than one thing in their collection. Anybody who considers themselves like a regular time crafter, meaning you're making projects either weekly or monthly, we all tend to have multiples of our favorite things. So it's always good to have another mini machine on hand, in my opinion. But if you don't have a mini machine yet, this is a great way to add that to your collection. I mean, I still can't get over the value. If you do options 1 or 2, you basically get $109 in product savings, and you are picking what you want in your kit. And then if you choose the third option and you don't get the machine, you would be getting a $76 product savings. And on top of that, you would get free shipping. So really, truly something to consider and see if that would be the right option for you. Now, with the Thanks a Bunch stamp set, what I wanted to do here, I just wanted to sort of play with the imagery and just take a look to see how, the carrot looked. As you can see, it's a 2-step stamp process. I used pumpkin pie ink for the base carrot, and then I used Cajun Craze for sort of that detailed side element, that layering piece there, which sort of adds in a little bit more depth and dimension. And then what I had realized was I had stamped the carrot so high that you can't really see the greens that would pop out of the top. And then, of course, I was not masking and I was kind of stamping messy, and I did not get a good stamped look. But can I please tell you, I have been seeing the cutest projects online made with that stamp set. So if you're asking yourself, well, what would I do with a carrot stamp set? Google it. You would be surprised how many people are making the most fabulous projects with this stamp set. It is so cute. So here are the different leaf options that you have. I think I'm stamping in garden green, and I can't remember what that lighter green is. I want to say Granny Apple green. It's not as bright as Parakeet Party, I don't think, but sometimes, they're close, one or the other. I have a tendency to grab things. And because I am doing the voiceover on this video like a week later than when I filmed it, I'm trying to remember all of the things that I used. So I'm sorry about that. But I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with that and kind of stamp a few of the images out to kind of give you a look, a little sneak preview of what that was like. And then I decided to go ahead and make another card. And this card ended up being more of our standard size card, the 4¼ by 5½ size. So I kind of moved up slightly with the card so that I could create sort of a carrot theme card. And I just wanted to kind of at the start of this, when I was making my projects, I wanted to kind of just stick to thank you cards, but then I thought, you know what, let's do another version. So this is a basic white card that's cut 5½ by 8½ scored at 4¼ and then we're going to cut our layers here. It's the same concept where we're doing the two pattern theme, where we're cutting two different pieces of designer series paper at the same width. We're just changing the size of the length of each piece. So I wanted the sort of the detail piece, or the larger piece that's going to go on the card, to be the vegetable pattern. And then I wanted to try to fit in this little barn on the smaller piece. So the way that I ended up cutting these, the measurements for these ended up being 4¼ by, let's see, hang on. I don't want to give you the wrong measurement here. So I have the card in my hand. I'm just looking at it while I'm talking to all of you. So it looks like I cut this to 4⅛ by 5¼ So both pieces of the DSP were cut to 5¼ inches. And then that vegetable piece was cut at, it looks like, the 2½ inch mark. And the smaller piece was cut at, let's see, 1 5/8. So, and you can see, kind of checking out the ribbon and seeing which one I wanted to do. The people who were on the live with me, they all voted for the garden green ribbon, which is what we ended up using. And this garden green ribbon that you're seeing here that I brought in is another element. That is part of a duo pack of ribbon that carried over from our holiday catalog. So you could get that as a 2-pack, which is real red and garden green. Now I'm doing that same thing with the tear and tape, and I'm doing the same exact thing with the ribbon, where we're just going to kind of pick that up, make that one piece, tuck those edges around the back, and then make this our layer. And the one thing I haven't mentioned, because I'm so used to using them on just about every project that I make, are the rectangle stitched dies. I used it on the cow card, and I'm also going to use it on this card with a couple of the pieces. So I did want to shout that out. I will have it on my product list or the shopping list on my blog for any of you who are interested, or maybe for those of you who are crafting along with me. So I did not do a layering piece in cardstock on this larger card. I just made the designer series paper larger, and then our cardstock will come in as the layering pieces. So we're going to be using crushed curry cardstock, and we're also going to be using basic white cardstock. And I will tell you the size of the rectangles, and I'll have the sizes up on my blog as well for those of you who are interested. The white basic rectangle is 1 1/4. No, not quite. Not quite that large. Hang on. It is 1 3/8. That's the better size. By 2 3/4. And then the crushed curry rectangle is 2 1/8 by 3½. Okay, and so we'll be cutting those pieces. And then in terms of the inks we're going to be using, we're going to use, is that cherry cobbler? I think cherry cobbler ink, garden green, and then also the pumpkin pie for our carrots. Now, originally when I started stamping, I was doing like double the amount of carrots, and I just thought it looked weird. I didn't get a good stamp out on it, not like I wanted. So I decided to redo it. I just flipped it over and redid the whole thing. So I used the sentiment, everything's coming up carrots. I just stamped one of the trio of carrots and then one little sprig that's coming out. I can't think of the proper word right now of what comes out of the top of a carrot. So, help me out if you're still here with me. You can help me out with that and let me know what they are called. Um, can you tell I'm not a gardener? Oh my gosh. So I was pointing at the box from that December paper pumpkin. Oh my gosh, was that December paper pumpkin so cute? I was pointing at that yellow, was inspiring me to pull some yellow into this project too. So again, the two size stitch rectangles that I am pulling I will be able to cut those in the mini machine as well. You could probably cut about half of the stitch rectangle dies in the middle, and then the larger ones would have to be cut in the full size machine. So that's always something that you can be mindful of. And I am going to be finishing up this project here. So let me just say a few parting words. For those of you who are still here with me at the 21-minute mark, I want to thank you so much. Not many of you make it to the end of the video. So if you are still here, just know how much I appreciate you being here. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. You can click the button below, and if you click the bell, it will give you notifications every time I release a video. I typically post one video each week. I also do paper pumpkin alternate videos, which you guys really seem to love. And I tend to do those either once or twice a month. So if you have any questions for me, please leave me a comment or you can email me. I will have my email information in the description box below. And stay tuned for more videos that I will have upcoming featuring all of these fabulous new products from the mini catalog. This catalog is so much fun. I think you're going to love everything in here. If you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like catalogs, please reach out to me. I would love to earn your business. I think that would be great. And I would be happy to send you some catalogs. So I'm going to bring all of the cards back in here that you could take a look at and see. All together, we have the cow theme card, which is more of that animal theme card. We have the tree theme. Then we have our little bird theme here, as well as our carrot card. So 4 different card ideas for you from the On the Farm Designer Series paper. And don't forget about that bundle. If this is a theme that you love inside that mini catalog, you're going to love that too. Okay. Thank you so much and stay tuned for the next video.